All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Discord, live every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. I got Ron Harris from Ron Harris Muscle back on the show.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, brother? Good.
Hey,
Phil, the Jamaican tank, Clayar, how are you doing, brother?
I am doing great. Happy to
Good.
be here.
Are you awake? Are you awake?
Half awake.
You gotta
I'm
remember.
Good,
You got to remember, Phil is getting ready for a major competition, the Masters, Mr. Olympia. So he's bearing with us through this. So we appreciate it, Phil. Coming on after probably training and eating, doing everything, and then coming on the show late at night. So we appreciate it. So, but we got lots to talk about. We got the Empro recap. We got the Dubai Pro predictions. There's the China Pro predictions. That's happening on the same day. Yeah. So there's lots going on. I didn't remember that China Pro, but like Andre Presti's doing it. Florian's doing it.
The China
guys
one?
doing it. Yeah, the China Pro.
Well, someone's trying to get qualified, huh?
Yeah, man. These guys. Yeah, in China. So I'll show you that here in a second. So yeah, lots to talk about. So we'll get into it. Thanks again, guys, for joining. And I'm going to share my screen. And we'll go to the Empro. Not a lot of action in that show, but we still want to cover it here. So let me change this to this one. Here we go. Okay, so we had the Empro Classic competition this weekend. You zoom in here a little bit. Sasan versus Angel Calderon. What do you guys think about this show? Do you think it was? I think it was closer than people thought it would be with Angel versus Sasan. But Sasan back-to-back wins. He won the Toronto Pro the week prior, and he went to Spain and he got this one. So 2 Pro Show wins under his belt. He's headed to Olympia, happy as can be, and on the top of cloud 9 right now after winning this one. So, what did you guys think of the show? Phil, we'll start with you first on your assessment here of Calderon versus Sass.
I think the show went great. I mean, I know it's tough. I know AJ was there, and some people were conversating that were there that thought Calderon was possibly going to pull it out. But I mean, I basically said if they stick to their guns, Calderon was hard as a rock, but we're going back to structure, most appealing physique. And Sauce just pulled it off. So the judges are just sticking to their guns. I mean, you come in. He was a little off, though. I'm not going to say Sauce was as good as he was the week prior. But, I mean, this guy done what, 6, 7 shows? But, hey, he had enough just to pull it off against Calderon.
Yeah, Ron, what do you think about this competition?
Yeah, I didn't watch the stream. I just saw these pictures, and I thought it could have gone either way. I thought Calderon had him on condition. And Angel's very rarely off by any percentile. He's always shredded, that guy. Structure. I get it. I mean, structure's not that much worse, honestly. He has a pretty good structure for a guy who's probably 5'2" on a very good day. He doesn't have the short limbs like a lot of them do. Yeah, but you could see Sass has him there in that back shot. He's got a much thicker back. Yeah, it was close. I mean, they were not. Did you see the score sheet? I'd be curious to see if Sasan had a perfect score.
I wonder if we'll go to Bodybuilders Without Borders. They might have it there. It's on the NPC, but I just don't want to go to that site. Yeah, the midsection you can see on Calderon it's kind of sticking out a little bit. It's a little thicker.
A thicker
but
waist.
Amazing condition. Yeah, amazing. They're both in great condition. Yeah, I think this isn't Sauce's best look condition-wise because he's eating so much. I also do think his biceps are a little bit underwhelming in the front double bicep. From the front, they look huge, but from the front double, they look a little down. I don't know if there's atrophy or something happened there, but like right here, there we go.
Yeah,
right, they're not. Yeah,
it was torn.
Yeah, this one looks torn for sure. Yeah, so a little wear and tear, but regardless, look at this. Great. Like, I can't imagine doing that many shows, peak weeks back to back, and continuing to look like this. It's just unbelievable what this guy has accomplished. So shout out to Sasan. He's going to the Olympia, and it's going to be a great show for him to, maybe push to be in the top 10. Who knows? I don't know. Probably not. It's a super deep stacked Olympia lineup this year. So if he does, that's a job well done, getting into the top 10 at the Olympia.
Special credit to that photographer. He always gets really Jonathan Moreau.
In the video.
The lighting must have been good too. I got to give credit to whoever lit the show, but Moreau does some fantastic stage shots.
Yeah. And video. I think he does the video too. Yeah, he does. So yeah, Sass looks good here. So that was the Empro. Now we're going to go on to, we'll do Dubai. So let's go. We got the list here. I think, yeah, he tagged me on there. There it is. Okay. So William Bonac jumped into this show. I didn't know until like maybe last week. He just put up a post and said, "See you in Dubai." Like, okay. So that does mix things up a little bit. So we got William Bonac. I'll get some predictions from you guys here. We got William. We got Tonio, Nathan Diash, and Mo. Again, another guy just jumped in. Mo Foda. Probably saying
he did. Wow.
Yeah. Mo's in there. So this is a good stacked lineup. We got Rubio. We got obviously Beruz. And then other than that, Saeed. Not really. Okay, he's kind of listed him here too, so that makes it easier for me to go to him. So we'll take a look at Tonio just landed there. I think he posted some stuff here. Yeah, there we go. Hotel room after 26 hours of flying. Oof. Now, posing in direct sunlight is not a good idea because it will just completely wash you out. So not the best practice here to do this, but because it's going to throw people off and be like, oh, he doesn't look that tight. He looks kind of washed out, which he does here, but this is 26 hours of traveling.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad for that type of traveling. I'll tell you
exactly.
That.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got to be holding like a gallon of water right there.
Yeah. See in the quads aren't as deep. But again, 26 hours of flying, airports, connections, you know how it is. Stressful. So, but it's Monday, so he's got the whole week. He's there for a week.
He's good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, he's got there early, so that's good. Okay, smart move. But yeah, I mean, so Tonio. Let's see. Beruz. Let's go to Beruz because Beruz is looking freaky. There was that one shot of Beruz where I was like, "Is this AI?" But it's not. It's not AI. It's actually him. It's just the way it's like cleaned up, or I don't know what they did to it, but it looks like plastic.
That crab shot. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, days. Wow.
Yeah. Man, this guy. And the thing is, too, it's talking to someone that's like close to Beruz, and we're working on doing something with Beruz, and he translates for him and stuff. And he said that Beruz luckily got out of Iran during all these attacks. Like, can you imagine? Did you see what's happening right now in Iran?
Yeah, I heard
with Trump? Trump's like, everyone evacuate Tehran immediately. Just imagine if Trump said, everyone evacuate New York City immediately. It's the same thing. People just don't realize, like, when you say it, when the president says that, that's no fucking joke. That's like, you don't say that just to mess. Now you see I was on X looking at all the tweets from this shit. The highways out of Tehran, 10 million people evacuating, this bumper to bumper, 3 a.m. in the morning, just freaking everyone out. So I can imagine the stress levels, what he must be going through, because he probably got family there, right? Got Hadi Shupan. Is Hadi safe? What's going on with where is Hadi? Is Hadi in Tehran? Where does he live in there?
Yeah, I think he's in there, man. I mean, it's a sad situation right now.
It's crazy. So, got two of the top bodybuilders in the world dealing with this Iran stuff, and it's hopefully they're safe. Well, obviously, Beruz is in Dubai, so he's safe there. But Hadi and his family are there, so we pray for them to be safe during this time. But yeah, I think this is a pretty much, I don't want to say a clear shot victory for Beruz, but who has the best chance of taking him out in the show and coming in first, and Beruz coming in second?
Nathan.
Nathan. Simple as that. No Bonac.
Bonac's very good too. He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bonac and Nathan could switch. I mean, they've competed together last year, and they both won one show. The other one won the other show. So Bonac and Nathan, that could be a battle between them, between second place. So I don't know. Whoever comes in. But Bonac's competed for a couple shows now, so I don't know. I don't know if Bonac is going to. I don't know. I just give it. I think Nathan is going to be battling for first place. So.
Yeah, I'm with you guys there with Nathan because he just got the size over. This was the latest year right here. 1.5 weeks out from Dubai. There, that's where he announced it. Yeah, Bonac looks like Bonac. He still's the same condition. Yeah, feathers in the quads. So don't count out Bonac. He's beaten a lot of bigger guys this year. So it'll be interesting to see. I know people said they wanted to talk about the Baruz thing and the Iran thing. Kind of did. I mean, there's not much more we can really talk about it. Do I think he's going to be able to make it to the Olympia? No. Unfortunately, I just don't think his paperwork is in line. And plus, now with all this Iran war stuff, I don't. And he's never been here before. Hadi Shupa, different story. He's been here. He's proven himself. He's competed here many, many times. So he's used to going through the system and the paperwork. But for Baruz, I can't. I don't see it. Unfortunately, which sucks because he looks insane. And he would definitely be, in my opinion, in the top 6 at the Olympia. So, fortunately, guys, I just don't think that Baruz is going to make it to the Olympia this year, especially with everything that's happening. Nathan Diasha, go ahead.
I was saying we've been waiting for Nathan to get to the U.S. for a few years too.
Yeah. Well, people are saying like the Dubai Pro is going to be like the Olympia for Baruz and Nathan, right?
People
because it's 140
visas.
Yeah. Yeah, there will be a live stream, I think. Yeah, there's always a live stream for the Dubai. This guy's asking
free live stream.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna be free?
No, I don't think so. Well, I think it was free last year.
That's where.
So
Fuad's was free, right? And the Arnold was free. So
yeah.
Now everybody thinks all live streams should be free.
Yeah, they should be free. But no, it doesn't matter. Promoters should make money off those things. Yeah, Nathan looks good. Do you think? Oh, what happened there? Do you think this is his all-time best condition that he's bringing?
He's been in condition a few times. He's pretty consistent.
Yeah. Like the glutes, he's never really been able to have those crazy strider glutes. But to me, I'm actually seeing them for the first time here. Maybe I don't know. But this is the first time I'm really like, okay, this is incredible. He looks like this is maybe his best ever. So condition-wise, he looks really good. Structure-wise, in order for him to beat Baruz, I mean, they're around the same weight, I think. I think Nathan's going to be in the high 250s. And I think Baruz is probably around that same weight, even though I think Baruz, for some reason, looks bigger in some aspects than Nathan. But, we're going to see how things line up here. But Nathan looks great. We have... Who we got out here? We got William, Tonio, we did. Nathan, we did. Mo Foda. Let's see here. Did he post any recent there? 6 days ago. Yeah, Mo looks like Mo. Mm-hmm. I mean, the main thing for him was his back that he needs to bring up, but he's not really showing anything else here. So again, give me a tough top 5 for sure with William, Mo, Nathan, Tonio.
Does he live close to there?
I can't remember.
Egypt, right? He's from Egypt.
He's from Egypt, yeah.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
I don't know where that is in Dubai.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he lives in Dubai. Ali Edward, remember we talked about this guy the other week. He looks pretty freaky.
He morphed.
So again, yeah, 110
Yeah.
kilograms. What is that?
242.
242. Okay, okay. So, yeah, man, this is gonna be a tough one here in the top 5 to, and then we got Rubio. Shit, I didn't even talk about Rubio yet. He hasn't really posted. Let's see. Nexzilla. Not many updates. Maybe.
Nothing in the stories. Yeah.
Now they're there, I guess. There's Breon.
Yava Labs.
Yeah. Training calves. Not much.
You don't even need to train those.
No, man. Yeah. Yeah, not much going on there. He's just staying covered up, which is fine. Stay covered up if you need to. He's got a lot to prove, right? He's been missing shows, pulling out of shows. So if this is a show he needs to prove himself, this would be the one to really show off the physique and nail it. So we're gonna see how Rubio comes in the mix there. This is gonna be a tough show to predict.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out to be the names being added now made it very very tough.
Yeah, this is good.
I have 7 guys in my top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Triceps atrophy, Bodex, right arm. I think Tono's might pass him for a third. Yeah. I mean,
Maybe.
Tonio beating Bonek, yeah, I could potentially, right? So that's potential.
Be a big feather in the cap for Tonio if he can do that.
Yeah, yeah. But at the end of the day, I always go to experience, and Bonek has done a lot of this traveling already, and he's used to doing these overseas shows and peaking for it, versus Tonio hasn't done much of this. So if Bonek is looking dry and shredded and full with his package, yeah, you could have William ahead of Tonio. I'm looking right now like Baruz first, Nathan second. I don't know where to put Rubio.
I don't think he's in the top 4. I can tell you that. I don't think he's going to be in the top 5. I just don't know if he's going to beat Tonio.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is tough, man. I mean,
it's a tough one.
I don't know.
He's not beating Bonek.
Mo,
I don't think.
No, that's what I'm saying. So and then Mo jumped in it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is one of the hardest ones. This is harder than doing the Olympia. I don't know. Olympia, you mean you get a better shot at it, but this one is like there's so many good guys.
Well, we already know the 212 winners. Angel Calderon Frias. Congratulations, Angel.
Yeah. There's a 212. Oh, there's a 212. Yeah, there's classic in this one too. Oh yeah. Okay, I got it. Sorry, I gotta go to we're gonna go to he didn't put the classic one up, bodybuilders.
Classic, I only recognize the names.
This one. Classic. Look at this.
Gee.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over 20. This is what we were just talking about. Like, but I get it. This is an open show, so it's not the Olympia. This is what we're talking about, the divisions that are so massive at the Olympia, not at the pro shows. Pro shows go to town. Have as many pros. That's you want that. Right. You want it to be competitive like that. So seeing this is great. Lots of athletes showing out. Now, what does this tell you? This says classic physique is more popular when it's doubling the amount of competitors in the men's open. Look at that. So does that mean anything really? Not necessarily. Maybe it's just more attainable to do classic.
They give away a lot more. There's way more pro cards being given out for classic than there are bodybuilding.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot more pros in general.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that too.
Go to the men's physique. It's way more than that.
Physique, yeah. Let's see.
Like 30 guys.
There's 37. Yeah. So he said he put it right here. 37 guys in classic physique, 35 guys in men's physique. It's crazy. It's because it's I'm not gonna try and say easier, but it's like it's just easier. You don't have to be 300. You don't have to be 250 up there, right? You can be 190 shredded. Like it's a lot. It's not as much put into trying to get that big and be competitive.
Attainable.
So
attainable.
It's attainable. Yes.
Sounds better than easy.
The general public. Yeah, it's better than easy because it's so fucking hard to get shredded and look like these guys do. So, yeah, the Dubai Pro is going to be a tough one. The China Pro, let's take a look right here. There it is. Men's open body, big list. Look at this. Wow.
Who knew?
So you got Lewis Breed.
Yeah.
Okay, Sergey Mohammed. Andrea Floren's in there. Andrea Presti. That's about it. A lot of Asian bodybuilders in there, of course. But yeah, China. Look at all this China.
I mean,
Thailand, China. Yeah. So yeah, that's happening too. Back to back. I wonder if there's gonna be a live stream for this.
No one's going to be paying attention to that show because it's the same day.
Yep, you're right.
It's totally
bad. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's just not planning it good there.
The time of the day too. I know because I'm on the East Coast, so Dubai's 8 hours ahead of me. It's 11 hours ahead of you, Matt.
Yeah,
and China's even further ahead time zone wise.
Yeah. Bodek isn't too old. These people in the comments.
San Cheesy. He's your favorite troll.
Yeah, he's always in there. Rubiel 6 to 10th. We'll see. I got maybe 6. Yeah,
that's 6. Yeah, that sounds right.
That could be. Yeah.
6,
he's got some
6, 1 and 2.
He's got some genetically I'd say aesthetically pleasing physiques ahead of him. So, but we'll see. I
recognize one of the names from China, Shuming Yan, because he was for a minute he was sponsored by Kevin Leverone's supplement company. Huge, of course, huge legs, big. He turned pro and then competed, and it was one of those shows where they had the amateur and the pro on the same weekend, and he ended up being 6th in the open, even though he was only like 215 or something. Anyway, yeah.
There's Jim. There's Jim. I don't know how long you were sitting there. I couldn't see the thing.
Geez. Hey, Jimmy.
What's up, guys? Come on, Phil.
What's up?
It's okay. I've only been here. I almost fell asleep. I'm good.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys I've been hearing the conversation. How are you guys?
Good. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us. And that leads us right into our next segment. Anyways, we're just going over to the Dubai Pro stuff and just some predictions there. But we wanted to get into a little bit about these topics that I've just been putting up about different things that have always been kind of talked about, but maybe just not really been brought into light. And one of them was the motorcycle stance. Okay, let's go to the one that
I think you brought me in at the right time.
Yeah, so we'll jump into that, and I just putting a spotlight on this. And then realizing, when did this actually start happening? When did it get to the point where the arms got that high? Because you see Jay and Ronnie, they were starting to get it pretty wide too, but they didn't go all the way where it's like that. They got to there. So slowly got bigger and bigger, wider and wider and wider. It's just because the guys got bigger. Now, Phil, Clayhar, and Jimmy, you guys have been up on the pro stage before, so tell me a little bit about your experience with this pose and what you think is going on here. Why is it looking like this now? Does it make sense?
All right, Jimmy.
I mean, we were mandatory. We had to have our heels together, our feet together, mandatory. Yeah. So we really, when you're standing like that, I don't know. I don't even know how it got. You're right. How do we get here? And it's not like. I put a couple posts up and I got some heat, for posting some stuff. And I am personally not saying anything bad. All I'm saying is take a picture of yourself with this pose that you're doing, and then take a picture of just the regular, the way we did a relax back then, and compare yourself. See, to me, it's not the arms. I think it's mostly the legs. You got guys with big legs, even small legs. Once they put that gap in between their thighs, their legs look smaller.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying if I'm right or wrong. All I'm saying is take a picture and compare yourself. This last Sunday, I did a posing clinic in Ocala, okay? And 5 guys I worked with, and all of them in the picture said their legs look better with their feet closer. And the first thing they did, biker stance. And I said, hold on a second. Let me take a picture. I took a picture. Close them. Took a picture. What do you see? He goes, yeah, you're right. So I don't know what Phil thinks or what you guys think. I think it just morphed into this, that this is the way they need to pose, not the way they're supposed to pose on the way they look.
Yeah. Look at it here. This is it. This is what you exactly said. Feet together. Right? Yeah, the arms are, Lee's arms are a little up there. But
everybody had different arms, the way they had it. Okay. But the legs were always, and the legs looked fuller. They looked, I don't know. To me, it just size-wise, they look more complete as well.
Yeah. Phil, what's your thoughts on the feet together versus frog leg stance?
I think a lot of the. I mean, I was taught, and of course, Tim was my first coach. My stance was a little closer, but not that close. I think a lot of the posing clinics now are teaching not. Now, some of them are getting a little ridiculously wide. I mean, once you start breaking your stance out almost wide as shoulder width, I think that's ridiculous. But I think, nowadays they've changed. The posing has changed. I think back then, they were just. I think that's the right way. I think now things have changed with the posture and the size and everything else. And I think now the judges just allow competitors whatever is going to make their legs look bigger, even though necessarily won't make their legs look bigger. I just think that's just the way it's being done now. That's just how I believe it's being done. And if you look at a lot of posing clinics, I think even the one we did at Charles Gym, I mean, a lot of the guys, some of the, I wouldn't say it wasn't too many open guys, but let's say like 212, their stance was a little bit wider. The legs wasn't that close. So I don't know. I think we're just in a different time. I'm not saying either way is bad. I just think when your legs are super wide, it looks ridiculous. Like, what's his name that we just saw compete a little bit ago and didn't do well? Nigerian. What's his name?
Blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's really ridiculous. That really makes his legs look even smaller. Right here, I think, Derek never used to have a stance that wide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you look in previous Olympians, I think this is an adjustment to make his legs look fuller. I don't know, man. I think everybody just picks certain stances to make their physique look good, and it may not, but I mean, that's what they feel comfortable with.
But do you think they actually take a picture or a video to compare? Because, see, back then we were mandatory. We had no choice, right? Now they have a choice. So is it something they choose to pose like this? Have they looked a different way to pose the relaxed pose? Even the front lat spread sometimes gets out of hand.
Yeah.
So are they really looking at what looks better for them?
But also, Ron, what's your coach too? Probably their coach is telling them, because coaches look at your pose in hotel rooms, so the coach could take a little bit of the blame too. I think everybody's so concerned with looking big and super massive on stage, so they just have that big wide stance. I think that's just what it is, and I think they do. I don't think I don't want to say they don't, because I don't know what they do, but I see them in hotel rooms and with their coaches. I mean, their coach is not saying, "Hey, listen, narrow your stance." Their coach is cool with seeing that. And of course, the judges are not saying anything about it. So there you go. I mean, it's kind of hard to fix it if the judges are not complaining about it or scoring you down because of it.
Right. All right. So let me throw a little more gas in the fire. Milos. He's been talking about this biker. All his clients are still doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. I pushed Milos on that. Where was that one with Bruce? Right there. He's doing right there. First thing, he's going to go right into it. Boom.
Look at that, right? Think
Yeah.
about
Boom.
the arms
Right there.
Put them down.
Now, I see why maybe a guy does it, because it does really show your lats wide and big, and you're really...
But if he took his hands and he went down a little,
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Let your lats pick your arms up. That's fine, but at least angle your hands a little further down.
Yes.
No, I agree. And I saw Steve Weinberger correct a lot of people with bringing the arms down. And I'm not going to lie. I used to, back in the day, I was a creature of habit for that as well, because it's just in your mind, you just believe the lats are looking really wide. Yeah. But then, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are advertising for Harley Davidson. So there you go.
Even when I competed, I never, like, in all the people in my class, like, back then we never did that. I think we would look weird. Be like, what is that guy doing with his arms that high? It's like, right?
We had a thing, our thumbs. We could touch our thumbs on our quads, outside of our quads, our hips.
I was just thinking, is it going to start to go like this high? Like, it's going to keep going higher and higher. It's not going to stop. Like, where does it end? Where does it stop? So it's just like, I don't know. I think people just kept trying to feel like they're bigger. I'll go wider. I'll go wider. And they get going, and it's getting worse. I don't like the way it looks. This is front relaxed. This is supposed to show your true symmetry and your shape and proportion. Standing relaxed, front relaxed. This isn't. I get this. You think it's relaxed, but it's not. You're like posing. You're flexing your body to do this. Where you should just stand relaxed. Arms to the side.
Beirut has such a pretty round
physique,
right? Yeah. Right? Could you imagine if he put his feet forward, his feet facing forward, right?
Nobody else has said anything about the fact that they're angling their feet out.
Right. Mm-hmm. So as they brought his feet straight forward, not that far apart, not too close, okay, and just put his chest out and let his arms hang to the side, he would have looked massive.
Yeah.
In your thread on this is in your original thread, we all collaborated, so I don't know who's, but I saw somebody said, well, Derek has to pose that way because his lats are so big. I said, you're telling me Derek's lats are bigger than Dorian Yates? Because Dorian didn't have his lats didn't push his arms up like that. No. And the guy said, yeah, Derek's back is much bigger than Dorian's was. Dude, no.
I don't think so.
But it's not a back shot. It's more of a symmetry shot. It's, I mean, even Lee Haney didn't even have that. And he had a massive back he had a massive back when you look at him from the front, and he still didn't do that.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, my thing is, I know Steve, I know Tyler, I know they've seen these posts. I know they're seeing this. I've already heard about that. And so will they say something on stage? Lower the arms, guys, lower them down, or will they just let them free for all still?
Tyler needs to make a video.
Yeah. He needs to do a recap.
Why would they tell them to lower the arms?
Well, no, you're right. Why? Just because we're talking about it? Yeah, no, I think they like if they visually think this is the proper way to hit your front relaxed, then they're not going to say anything. They're going to let these guys keep doing it.
Then they would have to come out with posing rules.
Yes. They have to change. No.
See what I'm saying?
No. Yeah.
Well, another thing that's been brought up is that it's not this. There is no symmetry around anymore. They're only standing like that very, very briefly. Anyway, so people are saying, why does it matter? We don't really see them like this for more than a few seconds.
They go right into, so they come out. Yeah, they'll come out you're right. So prejudging, they all come out in groups, random groups or whatever, right? So you might have like Hottie standing next to a guy that places 12th. They all come out prejudging.
Right. Just numerically.
Numerical, yeah, right. So there's nothing there, and they come out, they do their quarter turns, right? They briefly do a front relaxed, and they go off, and then first call outs come out. First call out, they all come out top 5, stand there. Some of them have their hands on hips, they're just waiting, like relaxed. Okay, they're not hitting front relaxed, they're just standing waiting for the first pose to be called out, front double bicep. They go into their poses. they don't do this front relax in the top 5 or first call outs in the lineup, right? So there's no emphasis on it. There's no judging in my sense in that first call out, in those call outs, preliminary call outs, when they're starting to score these guys. People say, oh, well, they're judging them as soon as they come out. As soon as they come out in the what did you say, Ron? The numerical order.
Yeah.
Because they're coming out. That's where they do the quarter turns. They're getting judged. And are they being judged?
Why are they doing the quarter turns if there's no symmetry round?
I don't know. I think it's
because it's not the must. They don't start getting judged until the call out. So that's really, I think someone can correct me. I think it's just a way for the judges to get an initial look at everybody to sort of see, okay, this guy looks good. So they're already starting to make little notes as to who they want in their call outs.
So come out. Let's say there are 15 guys. Bring them out 5 at a time and hit your mandatories. Why are there quarter turns if there's no symmetry round?
Well, they will call out like a couple mandatory poses just randomly.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to bring up. Some shows they don't even do the quarter turns; they go right into the mandatories.
Okay, yeah, because it's not around. It's not on the score sheet. There's no reason to. They don't have to do it.
No, Ron, I think what you were saying was I think that makes sense. When you're doing a quarter turns, when you come out, 5, 6 guys, how many people come out? I think that's being scored to see who comes out in the first call out. I'm gonna tell you why I believe that, because I know in 2021 when it was Ian, Charles Griffin, and I forgot Max Charles. It was a really decent lineup that year, right? And I wasn't being spoken about at all, which I love that. I don't like to be spoken about at all anyway. And when I came out in that, to me, I think it's a structure, flow. I don't know what they're looking for, but that got me into the first call out. Just coming out with that top 6, they're breaking down who's going to come into that first call out by structure, muscle density. They may not be looking for the whole symmetry type thing, but they are looking for structure, muscularity, looking for all the basic things. Okay. Then when you come out back in front of them for your little 60 seconds, now they're really breaking it down to contribute to that first call out. So they are scoring something when you come out with a group of guys. Trust me, they're doing something. Okay. Because that's their first look at you. Then you come back out again, and now you got to do your presentation. So I think that call out, I think it's needed. I think it does give them they do it in the Olympia. So I think it is needed, and it does give the judges an idea where certain people are going to be placed, because you never know. We all look for the top names, but then you can see a guy just come out of nowhere and sneak right into that first call out. So, it makes sense.
Am I forgetting something? Do you remember when the pros used to come out one at a time and hit their 7 mandatory poses?
Yep.
Do we do that now?
No.
I think that it just quietly disappeared a few years ago, because they did that for years.
Right.
Yeah. Look at Hadi. That's how you should hit it. It's not arms up and it's not arms down. It's right in the middle.
Right, but here's the thing. If you look at Hadi, he's like Behruz, but he's got his hands down.
Yeah. Take notes, Behruz.
He's up there. Hadi's up there with his shoulders and his lats. The thing is that he's dropped his hands down. He's turned his elbows forward and he dropped his hands down.
And his legs are his foot stance is a little bit closer.
Right.
It's not heels together, but he's not riding. There's no way he could be on a motorcycle like that.
Yeah, let's not forget though, Hadi's dense, man. Yeah. He's got that density.
Sorry, miss. There we go. I'm back.
I don't even think Samson needs to do that. Samson has a beautiful physique. He don't even need to do the motorcycle.
He looks better with his arms down. Better.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I was just going to show you guys. I was trying to queue up that Olympia call out. So they just come out, like you said, they just do the quarter turns, then they hit some mandatory poses, and then that's it. Are they, like Phil was saying, are they judging them? Yeah, they have to be judging them, because you could have a guy that stands next to Hadi that's, out of nowhere, and like, oh, that guy's actually comparing really good to Hadi. Let's bring him out in that top 5 call out. They can't, when they come out for the first call outs and everyone's standing on the sides waiting to be called out, they have to have already judged that person to know to bring them out to the top 5, unless they're just like us, where they just already have their predetermined top 5, top 6 in their head. We're just going to go right to them anyways without really thinking about it too much.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
So basically, they're picking their top 5 call, their top call out, right? First call out through that first walk, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it is being judged. But it would be nice if Tyler talked about that. No one talks about that preliminary prejudging round. What's happening when they're doing those quarter turns? What are you guys looking at? How are you even making your decisions with a bunch of random guys standing next to each other? And then you have to determine, like, are you scoring at that point? Like, how do you determine, okay, well, that guy walked out in the first group, numerical order, and we're going to have him in the first call-out? What's deciding that?
I think it's what Phil said, but also don't forget, sometimes they screw up, right? So they miss a guy, and the guy they had on the second call out and the third call out, they have him in the first call out later on. You know, they bring them back because they missed them through that first walkout. So they have to. I mean, they're just laying eyes on them. That has to be. They're laying eyes on them until they come out again, and they have their already
thought
5 or first.
Yeah,
you have to. It's just like you guys right now. When I was backstage, right, were you guys talking about the top 5 of Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Kind of know. Now, if someone's way off or someone pops out of nowhere, then you slide them in.
Yeah. It's we don't know. Like, why is it me, Ron Harris, Phil Clayhar, Jimmy Mentis? We don't surely know what the judges are doing in that preliminary round when they come out in numerical order. Is that bad? Is that bad?
I just realized on the score sheet, all you just see judging is 1 round and finals, and there's only 2 rounds. So you could logically assume that initial preliminary look, whatever you want to call it, the sneak preview round, that's part that along with the call outs, it's all just one chunk of judging, I guess.
Now, how many judges do they have? Is it 7 for just the regional shows?
Sometimes 5.
Okay, so here's the thing. Each judge, we all know, have a certain look they like. So when you come out and do your quarter turns, okay, then you come and do your individuals, and we're standing on the side. They may already have in their mind their top 5 people they want to call out. But somebody now shook it up. And now one of the judges are sitting there saying, no, I want to see Joe compared to Tom. So bring him out. I want to see what he looks like next to him. And that's where the gambling is going on now, because we have 5 to 7 judges, and every judge, I'm sorry, has a certain look. I already know certain head judges. I'm not going to say their names. They like a certain look. They're more for structure, a little bit of conditioning, and great flow. You could be peeled to the bones, but if you have all those other things, that's what their eye's drawn to as a head judge, right? So you have 7 judges, 5 judges. Somebody comes out of the ballpark looking amazing, and now they want to put you next to, okay, that top guy that's supposed to win that show. And now we done shook it up now because this guy we never expected looks phenomenal. Right. You know what I mean? So it's just the judges, man. It's what they see they like, and they want to pull somebody in that they figure is going to give that person, to make sense, a battle or run for their money.
Back then, if there was 5 judges, I'm not going to say 7, 9, or 11, right? It's just 5 judges. Back then, when the comparison round came out, every judge passed a piece of paper towards the head judge to see what the comparisons that judge wanted. So let's just say, Phil, you're on the other side of the table, judge number 3, and I'm judge number 5, right? And you, judge number 3, want number whatever you want your 5 athletes, right? And I'm number 5. I've already seen them all. All the comparisons that were already met, I've seen them all. So I don't need to see anybody else. But that's back then. What they would do is every judge requested a comparison. Does that still happen now?
I don't know. I can't say if it is or it isn't. I just know when I look down and I see the head judge, they always look at each individual and see if they're okay, or do they want somebody else to come in? That's what I see from being on the stage and also being in VIP, watching the judges do their thing, which I love doing that because it gives me a little insight of how they do their job. So when I'm sitting behind them, that's what I see. Sometimes I do believe like the head judge will have their top, but I do believe that sometimes the other judges, they'll look and say, are we good? Or you want somebody else to come? So they do speak amongst each other, regardless of what the case may be. But I don't think the way things were done back then, this is just what I believe. I don't 100% know. I think a lot of things have just changed now from back then to now.
Yeah, I think now the head judge says he calls the top 5 and says basically it's known, hey guys, to the other judges, here are your top 5. See where you put them, and if you have something you have somebody outside of this top 5, let's bring them in.
Yeah, I would like to know when they're doing the first numerical order, they're coming out doing the quarter turns. Is the head judge asking, "Hey, who do you have? Okay, who do you got? Top 5? Okay, who?"
Well, he must.
Okay, and then you start like, how quickly is that happening?
I mean, almost every show you see the first call out, it's like 5 guys, and then many times 2 or 3 guys will be removed from that lineup. They'll keep a couple and they'll bring a couple more over. So somebody must be telling them, let me see number 20. Let me see number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know that's what I believe that's what they're doing. And listen, just because you're in the first call out, we've seen when it comes to the final call out, you're not in it. You know what I mean? So I don't even think first call outs really matter anymore, because I've seen a lot of people in that first call out, and then when the show's said and done, they're in the second call out or the third call out. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, we could go on forever about that. That would be interesting to have a judge on or something and talk about that and get some clarity to that question. How does that preliminary round work when they're coming out in numerical order? How is that being judged? How are you scoring? And how is that being broken down? And then when it comes to the first call outs, where did that information come from? Did you guys write it down on paper? Okay, this number is going to be in the top 5 first. Or is it just Steve or the head judge being, okay, in my opinion, I want these guys to come out, and then you judges are going to judge them for me based on my experience and what I saw when they came out in the preliminary round. That's how I kind of think it's working. Head judge has the experience. He sees them come out first. He takes the notes in his head to do what he wants with those guys, and then he makes that first call out just based on his own assessment. I don't think he's deferring to the judges next to him. Hey, who should be in the top 5? Who should we call out? There's not much.
I think some of the seminars, I believe, I want to say last year, where's that a Gold's Gym? No, it was the same one. At the beginning, Derek was there. When they have the posing clinic, and then they have the coaches and the judges meeting. When they have that, those questions are brought up, and Tim or Hersky or whomever, they tend to answer these questions. I think that the answer is there. We just would like somebody to explain it, but they do explain it at these judges and coaches meeting, separate from the posing clinic. So the question is there. It's just I could call Tim up and he'll probably break it down to me, what they do.
It'd be nice just to know, so we have a better idea of like what is going on with the judging. It's so important to these shows, and it'd be nice to kind of know that little caveat. Another question here. I got you guys. The number of competitors in each division at the Olympia. Not talking about pro shows, just at the Olympia. Is it too many? Does it make sense to have 56 men's classic physique competitors on the Olympia stage being judged? For what? To come in 56th? When is it too much? What should the number be?
Well, there's 2 entities here. The one's the business, and the one's the athletic, the contest. It's a split. It's 2 different conversations. Period. And I'll go to the business side. All right. To get a tanning sponsorship, 30, 40 grand, you need those athletes.
Yeah.
50 grand, you need those athletes. You see what I'm saying? So on the business side, you have to look at it as you're bringing people business to your sponsors. Where I see an issue with it, and they might have it down, and I think I posted it on this post, is where is the Olympia LLC? What's their ROI in flying all these people out? Do they get a kickback from the hotel? Because I know a lot of shows do. So to me, the business side, for them to keep doing this, if it makes sense, they're not going to stop. They're not. They're just not going to stop.
Can we confirm that the Olympia flies out every single competitor that competes at the Olympia?
Yes, they do.
They do. And I think the hotel's covered.
The hotel's covered, and you get a per diem.
Yeah.
For each day.
What?
But they don't listen. They don't. If you're coming from far, Dubai, anywhere from Europe.
Yeah.
When I say they cover your plane ticket, they don't cover the entire thing.
Up to
So let's say
amount.
I think they have a set amount of money to give you towards your airfare. It's not going to cover the whole round trip fare. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That I do know.
Okay.
But it does cover something. So at the end of the day, they're not really losing tons of money flying these women and guys in, because technically they're not paying for the entire plane fare here and back, if it makes sense.
But still, Phil, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
No, it is.
When Arnold says he's got 750,000, right? And I know the Olympia is going to try to do the million. It's the race to the million.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever hits the million is going to be the show.
Which is great.
1.2 million. No one's going to care about the 1.2 million, because whoever reached the million first, that's the show.
Yeah.
For them to do the million, at what point? What do you have to? You got to find it somewhere. You got to cut somewhere, because don't forget, our sport is not mainstream. It's actually getting worse. You're not going to bring the Budweiser, and you're not going to bring the Red Bull sponsors in. The drugs are too. We're a drug-infested sport. You go to every YouTube channel of every professional IFBB or NPC, bikini, wellness, bodybuilder, and it's all about the drugs. Every podcast that you see now, they try to talk about what's their cycle.
Yeah.
That's where they're saying every single thing. It's all about this, the drugs, the drugs, the drugs. So how is Dan and is going to bring all these mainstream sponsors with all this? Unless, okay, now it's starting to be acceptable. You got the enhanced games coming out. You guys heard of that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why isn't bodybuilding in it?
Is there bodybuilding?
That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? Come on. Everybody's saying, well, let's be transparent. Well, let's be transparent. Let's go with it. You're not going to say, hey, I'm a bodybuilder and I eat really good and this and that. And yeah, I dabble here. We know what's going on. Our old school ways is train hard, diet, you work. Now it's, how can I get to point A to point B with working less? And they think it's drugs. And everybody wants to know the secret. And that's not the secret. But everybody thinks it. So that's why I'm saying, at what point do you, how much can Mutant put up? See what I'm saying? At what point, our industry, right? Our sports nutrition, we're not talking about, so at what point does Dan go out and say to Red Bull, hey, why don't you sponsor us for 5 years, give us $10 million? Why would I?
Yeah, the industry. Obviously bodybuilding is growing. Look we're almost at $1 million for first place prize. So
where is it growing? I'll debate that.
The amount of people that it reaches because of social media. and the podcasts and the YouTube, and it's grown that way socially. It's much more widespread than it was in the 90s and the early 2000s.
You know why? Because physical fitness is mandatory, and it's not taboo for a 50-year-old woman going through menopause to put a bikini on and get on stage. Everybody rewards that. It's a plus. I reward it. Okay, everybody that loses a little weight, that's going through a transformation, now has a goal to compete, and that's great. So, has it really grown, or is the outside coming in? Think about it. 50% of the NPC and the IFBB is Masters Division.
That's interesting stat.
Wow.
Okay, so I, as a promoter, would rather promote a Masters Pro, still the same entry fee, less payout.
Don't the Masters have to pay to compete?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You still pay the entry fee. There's still an entry fee.
Yeah, I think it's about $250.
Yes.
For the pros?
For the master, this I think this was implemented. If I may be wrong, Jimmy, last year. I don't think the year before it was. I think last year that was implemented. That master shows you have to pay $250 to enter the show.
Listen, if you think about it, Phil,
Jeez.
the athletes. Listen, I'm a bodybuilder, man. I bleed bodybuilding. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying to negate anything or anything against the sport that I love and I live. Okay, but the athletes have become the product now. Period.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately and fortunately, in some circumstances. So, and we all have to understand there's a business. But we also have to understand and accept that if it wasn't for this business, we wouldn't have a platform to have fun and showcase our physiques. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, is the sport growing in the right way? I think hopefully us coming out and speaking about this, making these posts, and some of them are going viral and they're being shared around a lot. Especially this one about the number of athletes in each division. I think it should bring some awareness to is the prestige of the Olympia the same as it used to be now that you have 56 athletes in a class? I just want to, but why? Why are you letting so many athletes? Because there's so many shows. Okay, that's another thing. Because there's so many pro shows. There wasn't that many in the 90s and the early 2000s. Nowhere. There's 10 times as many shows, maybe even more than that there was. So now you have all these shows that are qualifying people for the Olympia when there wasn't that before. So now these classes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, except for bodybuilding. Bodybuilding's kind of remained the same. Okay, so that doesn't seem to be an issue. The men's open seems to be fine. 212 fine. It's men's physique, classic physique, women's bikini, and women's physique is up there. Wellness is 39 competitors. So those classes are getting bigger and bigger. That's money that the Olympia is spending on these athletes to fly them in, food, per diem, hotel. What about putting that money into the pockets of the top 5, top 10 in each division?
But you're talking about the IFBB, and the IFBB. See, I still believe the Olympia is still prestigious because your top 5.
Oh, it is. I mean, it is.
Top 5 are going to be your top 5, no matter how many people are in.
Yes,
it, right.
That's what I'm saying. What's the point of all this other stuff? 2030.
Because that's the carrot.
Yeah.
Pro card is the first carrot. The second carrot, Olympia qualification.
Yep.
Yeah. I understand the business. I understand the business side, but is it right?
It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong.
I know. Exactly. It doesn't seem to matter.
But that's where somebody turns around and says, Matt, business is business.
Yeah.
And I hate that term.
No, that's
what I'm saying?
It must be coming down to. Yeah.
And again, totally understand what you're saying. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But for the past 10 years, I've been on the business side, and I had to make some decisions that, it didn't hurt anybody, but I had to make some decisions. And I realized when someone used to tell me business is business, I didn't get it. And when you have to make decisions, because business is business, okay, for the rest of the people involved in your business, think about it. Yeah. So this is a multi-million dollar business, not the Olympia, the IFBB NPC. They've gone worldwide now.
Yeah.
So
that's the byproduct of growing. That's the byproduct of growing.
Yes.
And so what do they do?
Any business that grows has headaches.
Yeah. Growing
more
pain.
Money, more problems.
Yeah.
Real quick, Matt, you said that bodybuilding, like open bodybuilding, is growing, but really, is it? If you look at the NPC level of, like, when I competed, when I first went pro, I mean, it was like 30 guys in open bodybuilding. Yep. Now you look at these shows, you got 2, possibly just 1, possibly 3, and if it's 5, all of them don't look amazing. So you start picking the guy that looks the best in that show, right? So that person gets his pro card. So now we're looking at the elite guys we have now, but what's up and coming? Because the pro cards, once again, it's business. I understand that, but the pro cards are just being given out. So the quality, to me, especially in the open bodybuilding, is completely fading compared to the way it used to be several years ago.
Yes, totally everything is bodybuilding now. Bikini, I'm a bodybuilder. Women's fitness, I'm a bodybuilder. Women's figure, I'm a body. Look at my bodybuilding routine.
Right.
They all call themselves bodybuilders. So that's why it's grown in the sense of, like, everyone thinks they're a bodybuilder now.
When someone can enter a show and enter 5 categories at $150 each, and walk away with 5 medals, and they post it.
Yep.
That's
all
money.
Medals are on their neck. Yeah.
But that's money.
Yeah.
That's the hook.
Yep.
Okay. If they went back, Phil, if they went back to do 2 pro cards a year, it's over.
No, what you said, Jimmy, about the carrot, that is so apt. Yeah. That describes it perfectly, because that you have people that are in the gym for like a month or 2, and they're like, I'm going pro, and the entry fees are much higher at the national level shows, the pro qualifiers. 150 is a local show. National level shows are 250 to 350 now. Actually, I don't think it's anything under 300. And there's crossovers. If I know people that they'll do masters 35, 40, 45, 50 in the same show. I want them, give me that effing pro card.
They're paying for that pro card, man. They got to pay for it.
And then you got to pay, once you get the pro card, you got to pay your annual fees for the pro card. So, yeah, it's the athlete has become.
So that's why when Phil turns around and says there's only 2 people, 3 people, if you look at it, it's the same 3 people, 4 people, maybe add another one in every category that come back out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every show.
And now when you get your pro card, you're getting charged a transaction fee.
What? Let me tell you about this.
Yeah. Oh, that got me real good when I went and got my pro card.
So hold on. Why do you think this whole thing came out that if you're not competing, if you're not active, you would have to pay? Half of the pro cards that we're giving, I think 2 years ago, was like 3,400 pro cards, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, 50% never showed up again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that subscription.
Yeah, they need to get that re-upped.
There you go. Because the drop off is so much, because they're like, there's 2 reasons why they dropped off. Number 1, I'm an IFBB pro and they use it for their resume, or they said, fuck it, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So that's what's happening. This isn't what we used to have.
No.
You had the grit. I mean, don't you remember whoever won the USA or the Nationals was top 5, top 10 in the Olympics?
Yes.
And to get into top 10 in the Olympia, you were good. Whoever came out of California was top 3 in the USAs, or even possibly winning the USAs.
Yep.
Winning the Cal. Okay.
And you would know who they are.
There were no pro cards at the juniors.
Nope.
Also,
There's still no pro cards at the juniors for bodybuilding.
Is there?
Every other division gets a pro card except bodybuilding at the Junior USA and Nationals.
Except bodybuilding? What?
I believe so. Yeah. No, there's no bodybuilders don't get pro cards at the junior shows.
Well, have you seen the bodybuilders at the junior shows?
And what?
Have you seen the bodybuilders at the junior shows?
Not lately, no. But that's why. If there's no pro card, they're like, why am I going to do the show?
Right.
That's the goal for everybody. Even if they, I said some of these people turning pro, a lot of them, they have no business being on a pro stage. So either they realize that, or they do one pro show and they're like, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Ron, it's not their fault.
No, I don't blame them.
No, it's not the
It's not. It's not. I've been very vocal about that. With us back then, we were the best and stuff like that. It's not their fault. They have the ability and the opportunity to do this.
Right.
Why not do it? Okay.
Sure.
Think about it. Take outside of the Arnold. Take the what show just happened? The Toronto, right?
Yeah.
All right. Would anybody place in the top 5 in that show in the Nationals back then?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
The pro shows now, outside of the Olympia and the Arnold, you wouldn't even place in the top 5 in the Nationals. So why are they saying that they are better than us?
Good point.
Okay, when we didn't know anything. We were taking protein, carbs, fats, doing the drugs, and if we had a bellyache here, we were like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. We didn't know what we were doing. We just fed off each other. Hey, what are you doing? What am I doing? We just went. Now you got studies, you got blood work, you got this, you got time under tension, you got all this bullshit, and you still look like shit. I'm not saying you look like shit, but you don't look like us. Why? You should be looking better than us.
Well, I have to say it because the drugs are so prevalent now. The discussion, the transparency, everyone's on drugs, teenagers, everyone. There's way more PED abuse right now than there ever was in the past. If drugs are the answer, if drugs are why people look good, why don't we have a lot more people looking fantastic now? I see so many people posting, oh, I'm on this, I'm on that. They don't even look like they're on any. They look like natties.
I think people have gotten away from the training, like proper training and nutrition, and they're now focused on the drugs. Get me on trend, get me on this trend. That I'll get jacked off the trend, and they don't know how to eat properly. Right. And like you guys did back in the day.
Well, here's the thing. It's not even just. It's just sticking to the basics. I see a lot of these young. What they see on YouTube, they doing all these fancy movements. I stay to the basics. That's why I've trained in the same gym. Don't really travel to many gyms with all the fancy equipment. It's basics. If back in the 80s, the 70s, and the 90s, and early 2000s, when they actually before the early 2000s, when they only had a barbell, dumbbells, and a squat rack.
That's all you need.
It was able to build the physiques they did. Now, I'm not going to just throw shade on the new generation. The thing is, it's the quality. I'm not going to say who's better than who. I don't want to get in that conversation. I just know the quality from back then, to me, was better. The quality now, I think, is what's being rewarded by judges that's allowing the quality to go into the direction that it's going now. I don't want to blame the athletes. It's what the judges are allowing. We can't blame the athletes. It's rewarding.
But Phil, that's all they have to judge.
That's all they have. Yes,
that's all they have.
Yeah,
and that's true. That's all they have. But listen, if we're saying, okay, we want this sport to be somewhat healthier. They're saying now that they have certifications for trainers. All these new things they're implementing, which I know why they're doing it. I'm not going to say it, but they're implementing these directions. So let's not just show it now with the athletes. They'll reward. I don't care if that's all they have. We got to this place for a reason. With what? It wasn't like this 10 years ago. So we have to give. I don't want to just say it's what they have. No. I remember several years ago when I sat into a open meeting for check-ins, and this was said. If you're in classic physique and you look like a bodybuilder, go to bodybuilding, or else we're going to score you down in classic physique. This was about 13 years ago. And I was like, yes, we're going in the right direction now. It's not all about crazy size and freakiness. We're going back. And then a year or two after that, it just went the complete other direction. You know what I mean? So I don't want to blame the athletes. I don't want to say that's all they have to judge. I think that if, just like we're just saying, if the judges tell people, hey, front relax should be this way.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It'll filter down as we go on. But if they just continue to judge it and saying it's okay, well, we're going to have the wide stance. We're going to have the motorcycle. We're going to have some more added poses in there as well, unless something is being said about it. That's it.
You know, Matt, it's like the video I sent you of Kevin Garnett, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just the generations.
It's the generations. And by no means are we harping on the athletes. The athletes are just doing what they're told to do and whatever. They're just doing what they got to do. It's at the end of the day, the judges, I guess, need to be I'm not trying to call out the judges. It's like hold them accountable. Like Lee Priest was saying in the chat, he was like, Wayne DeMille used to say, feet together. Guys, if you're getting to, he'd say feet together. Steve is a hard ass. You think Steve would be like, hey guys, lower your arms, feet together. But it seems to just be.
I don't think they want that responsibility because you're opening a can of worms.
But what to calling out the athletes on stage saying, hey, hit it.
No, because why would I hit it like this unless there's not the rule? Now if they mark them down for hitting the biker pose, that might change.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we're going to find out. I guess I got to pay attention to the show coming up here at the Dubai.
But let's see. Let's say Beirut does the whole biker pose. Right?
He's good at take it. That's the biggest example right there.
You know he's going to win, and he hits the biker pose. And then you got the other two athletes that don't hit the biker pose. That's not as good. Do they beat him? No. See?
So does that even matter? Does it matter now?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, are you guys judging
after the biker pose has been spoke about so much, I think we're going to see some people go on stage and do the front relax the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah,
I hope so, man.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. Is it going to start to change with that pose? It's one pose. Okay, are we making too big of a deal about it? I don't know. It's an important pose.
No, they do it on the front lat too. Even on the
legs?
double bicep. Have you seen them on the double bicep?
Some guys. Well, the leg to the side, I don't mind the leg to the side. I understand what you're saying. You just want an old school front feet forward.
No, you can still have the leg to the side. You just have to throw the hips to the side. What they're doing is they're going straight up, and they're just throwing that leg to the side. There's a whole gap in between their legs. Throw that leg out. Break the hips a little, the waist. I think the posing. I've been working with a few pros, right? And I've changed their whole look completely. And they're the same bodies. And they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Because they never thought to change because that's the way they see it posed and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they gotta have some type of. I know they have posing seminars. You and Phil were at these seminars, right? Did they go over posing?
I was at one this Sunday. And I love doing them. I mean, I've been working with the guys and the girls, and it's so rewarding to see their bodies change. And then when they see it in the mirror themselves, they're like, "Oh my God, you're right." Because obviously, when you first say it, they're looking at you like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Right? And then you're like, "All right, turn around, do it in the mirror." And
all right,
like, oh, yeah, you're right.
So before we wrap it up, I know we went over an hour, but it's lots of conversations here, lots of stuff happening. I want to get into this before we leave and get Jimmy's take on it and Phil's take on it. Mr. John, giving us a lip service, especially to the old, the past eras, Lee Haney and Chris Cormier. He goes on a rant here, blaming us being so hard on the new generation. So I'm just going to let him talk for himself, and then we'll chime in. I don't want to give him attention, but this was so bad, in my opinion, that we just got to quickly chime in on this to defend the old era here.
Should you be able to handle the criticism that these guys go through today? The YouTube critics like myself, or the terrible emails and DMs and messages that Derek Lunsford got when he beat Hottie, getting death threats from Hottie's fans. Would you? That is something you never had to deal with. That is something Lee Haney, Chris Cormier, Flex, Lee Priest, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian never had to deal with. They never had to deal with that. Do you know what that does to a person? I mean, and death threats to him and his family, and he still competes, and he still wins. You guys have nothing good to say about this generation. I'm fucking sick of it.
Okay.
Jimmy, I'll let you jump in on it quick. Get your initial reaction to Lee, Haney, Chris Cormier, all these guys didn't have to deal with anything back in their day when they were competing. They had it all smooth sailing back then compared to things now. And we're being too hard. You guys, the old school era, being too hard on the new generation. Lee, Haney saying the motorcycle stance is this and that. That's us. That's them bashing the new generation.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I got
Jimmy,
so much to
you.
say, man. I don't even know if I want to say
Well, just
say it. This is the show where you can say it. Yeah.
Because Phil's a lover, I'm going to have to hold myself back.
No, man. I mean, briefly, let it go.
Listen. First of all, who is he and how does that affect his life? Okay, he's doing that for views, period. Okay?
Yeah.
Number one. So let's leave that at that. Number two, we took a lot of shit back then. We didn't have social media, but we took a lot of shit back then. Okay? We had other bodybuilders, critics. We had contracts pulled from us. Okay? And we didn't have rent to pay the next month because we looked like shit. Okay? We had enough pressure on us. We went to countries and we guest posed and we did what we needed to do. But when you put yourself out on the limelight, you can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen. Period. I don't understand. Obviously, I understand why he did it, okay? Because it's all about views and this and that. But who is he? Leave that aside. Derek, Samson, they open the door because they're the ones who talk about it. Derek just came out talking about that understandably so, he was upset about his grandmother, but he ranted about Nick Walker's fans.
Yeah.
And you can't control people. Now, why are you talking about it? Now it's going to get worse. Leave it alone. You are a pro. I had the opportunity of a lifetime, and I met Muhammad Ali. And he looked at me and he goes, Jim, he always called me Jim. Jim, do you know what the definition of a professional is? He goes, you can perform under any circumstance at any time and avoid the noise. And I took that to heart. And I still carry it through my business and anything I do. All of these guys with the social media should know better because they're getting the exposure, the good and the bad. Now, unfortunately, Derek was under a horrible circumstance, losing his grandma, okay? And was maybe, obviously, already emotional, and that got to him, okay? Who's bothering Samson? You're Mr. Olympia, dude.
Yeah. There's a lot first off, you're right. Who is John to be telling these guys, especially the old school era, if you want to call it, Lee Haney, etc., Chris Cormier, to calm down on this shit? And
can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
I truly believe in my heart, Lee Haney, Dorian, Chris, and I know Chris, all of us we're not here to hurt anybody. We want to help.
Yep.
Okay. Just like the previous generation helped us, and we took it, and we some things we used, some things we didn't use. Take what we're saying and weigh it out. Just weigh it out. We're not here to tell you unless you're guilty, unless you know. When I know I'm ready, I got ready for a show, and someone says you don't look good. Hey man, I did everything I could.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing John skipped over there and ragging on Lee Haney and all these older bodybuilders is that, do you not see them giving back? Do you not see Lee Haney and the Lee Haney Games and all the shows he runs and the educational programs he puts together for the athletes? Do you not see Chris Cormier going around the world posing people, helping people out of his own dime sometimes to help these people?
For free, Matt.
For free. Did he mention that in his little rant? No, he didn't.
He sees guys that could train harder, and he's flying his own way to help them.
Right? So the old school, the old era is giving back to this new generation. They could say, fuck off with this. I'm done. I want nothing to do with the sport. I'm done. Some of them do. But a lot of the ones he mentioned are the ones actually helping the new generation still to this day. Okay. Helping them train, helping them pose, nutrition, everything. And he just ragged on them. So I wanted to kind of come to Lee Haney's defense and Chris Cormier's defense and the other people he mentioned. There's no need for that, man. To rag on them. They're not trying to do anything negative in the sport. Because Lee Haney says, oh, I don't agree with the motorcycle stance, it doesn't look good to me. Is that Lee Haney bashing Derek Lunsford? No. He's just pointing out that this doesn't look aesthetically pleasing in his eye.
You know who gets a lot of heat too? Rich Gaspari.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're in a different time now. Back in, I'm 51, us older. Listen, back then our mindset and mentality was different.
Yeah.
I think right now, the way everybody's structured mentally, it's not the way it used to be. And that's just really what it is. Two different generations. They can't handle things being said or displayed a certain way, and it affects them personally. So listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I was always told respect your elders. So I don't think anything was wrong with Lee Haney or Chris Cormier or anything. Listen, John's John. I respect the dude. He got his views he needed because Samson Dowda posted on his site, and he got lots of hits from it. Was it right? My opinion, no. But it is what it is. Two different generations, two different mindsets from two different eras. That's it. There's nothing we can do or say or make it any better. Their mentality of how they think is just totally different. We can go outside, play on the jungle gym, break an ankle, come home. Our mom would duct tape it and tell us to go. You know what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day, you put yourself out there on social media, like Jimmy says, be prepared for the positive and the negative, and let's not make a big clown show of the whole situation.
Yeah.
I got to go. So
yes, I know. Phil, he's dying.
Dude,
Jimmy,
I've been holding my pee for almost an hour now. So I'm tired. Yes. I love you guys. I got to get out of here.
We love you. Okay, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Phil's got to go. He's
all right, take it easy.
Much love, guys. Much love.
See you guys. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Have a great night. Bye.
Night.